Hello, everyone. I'm Ron Presley, and I've got a question. Why did this fish not weigh 100 pounds? And I have Captain Konkle with me here today, and he's the one person that can answer the question why this fish didn't weigh 100 pounds. Well, first of all, Ty, just tell us where you're from and where you fish.
So I am from East Tennessee. I live in Morristown, Tennessee, and I fish the Tennessee River, mainly around the Chattanooga area. The Chickamauga, Nickajack, and Gunnersville reservoirs primarily.
And you were fishing somewhere in that area the other day, and you caught a whopper. Well, actually, before we're going further, let me show the people that fish. Take me just 1 second, and I can bring him in here, and everybody can see what he looks like. Wow. Man, I look at that fish, and I'm saying that fish has got to weigh over 100 pounds. I mean, it just looks like it. But how'd you go about getting that thing?
Well, we were on Chickamauga Reservoir, and that day was just tough. It was just tough fishing. The sun was, just blaring away. The water's gotten really clear. We had been all over the lake fishing primarily more shallow and drop-off areas, trying to kind of follow where I was finding bait, and I just wasn't finding the cats around the bait that day. And so I decided we would just spend the last hour and a half just anchoring down next to a hard structure in the deepest part of the water that we could find. And we'd been setting about 15 minutes. It had been almost 4 hours since we had a legitimate bite, which is very unusual. And we'd been setting about 15 minutes, and a rod slams down real hard, drag's peeling off of it, and it just comes unbuttoned. And we were just like, oh, what the heck was that after 4 hours?
Oh.
You finally get a bite, and then that happens. And I told him we were at our 8-hour mark, and it was about time to go in. I just told him, I said, I'm just going to hang out because I don't have anywhere else to really try out. I've kind of running out of options here. So we sat about another 15 minutes. All at once, that rod buries down, and that thing was on. And we don't know if it was the same fish or not, but it was worth the wait. That 4.5, 5 hours of waiting for that particular fish.
There you go. I'm telling you, you never say die, I guess, but awesome thing. And to happen at the end of a tough day, that had to feel pretty good in itself.
Yeah, it really did, because you forgot about all the rest of the day. That's what the day was all about, was that fish right there.
Well, did the landing go smoothly, or how did that all work out?
Well, it was pretty plain when it first hooked up that this wasn't your standard 40, 50 pound fish. And I had to get all the rods reeled in because that thing was going wherever it wanted to go.
Oh, brother.
And then when it was coming up to the boat, then going back, and finally we realized, like, if I don't get off of spot lock and drift with this fish, we'll never get it in. There was just enough current to we saw it come way up one time at the surface way back there, and I was like, yeah, it's definitely a blue, and it looks like a big tail for sure.
It had to look like a good one.
It was definitely a good one, but the longer it went, a fish just grows. You're like, well, 50, maybe 60, and then when it came up to the top, that's when we were just kind of like, right at the boat, we were just in awe.
Oh, man.
Like, oh my goodness.
Your eyes kind of pop at that point.
And that fish, we're coming off of the spawn right now, and a lot of fish are just real spawned out and skinny.
Yes.
And this one was anything but that, for sure. This thing looked like it hadn't missed a meal in its whole life.
Yeah, looking at that picture, I mean, it just... wow, he just looks so awesome. Now, you got him in the boat and you measured him, right?
Yeah, we got it in the boat, and when we got it on the floor, the first thing I did was actually go to measure it. And that's where we kind of ran into maybe the proper way to measure it. And I've never really had a fish that I've had this problem with, but what I did is I put its head up against the live well, laid it, wherever its tail was on the floor, put a mark and measured from the live well to that mark. And that's when we came up with the 54 inches. If you laid a tape measure across it where it went around that enormous belly and went back down, zeroing it out at the front of the mouth, and that, it added about another 4 inches to the length.
4 more inches, yeah.
So I'm not really sure what was the proper way to measure that, but came up to 54, and then it was right at 39 inches in girth. So those calculations,
that calculates to what?
Right at 100 point something
over like 100 pounds,
100.7 or something like that.
So you knew you were right up there at the 100-pound club.
Yeah, and so
then you got it on the scales, right?
Well, I carry 2 scales. One is an 85-pound scale, and I put it on it, and it didn't even get off the floor, and it was bottomed out. So I went for my 110-pound scale, and that particular scale has a little thumb screw that you adjust to get the needle to 0, and that thing had vibrated. It was missing, so I couldn't use that scale. So I was kind of stuck with the measurement method, and I just kind of felt maybe the measurements are a little disproportionate, because I know when we picked it up and it was taking both of us, we were both swearing it was 100 pounds. So for sure, and it's kind of hard to tell. But then we got it up in his lap as the photo there, and we weren't able to hold that pose very long because the fish then decided it wanted to evacuate its system. And it was more of not an evacuation, more of an explosion.
You're gentle with the words, Ty.
Yeah, I'm being nice about that, but
yeah,
I'm not joking when I said it was all over him, all over me, all over the front end of the boat. And then it went to decided it had enough of that, and she kind of went bonkers in his lap. He ended up, the pectoral fin on the side, it buried all the way into his thigh.
Oh my gosh.
And then to top everything else off, the fish made an enormous tail swipe, went right up between my legs, lifted me right up off of the floor, and it took me about 5 minutes to figure out if I was still alive or not after that.
Oh my gosh.
And so then we went to put her back in the water, because that'd been quite enough stress. And so we were reviving her in the water. He just sat the whole time petting her and saying, "Boy, worthy opponent, worthy opponent."
As it was. Yeah, that opponent roughed you up just a little bit, but what a beast, and congratulations.
Well, thank you.
I didn't know your client's name. Who caught that fish?
His name's Mike Armstrong.
Mike. Well, congratulations, Mike.
Yeah, he's been out with me a couple of times. Last fall, he caught a 73 with me, and I told him that day, I don't think we're going to beat that. And the day was just terrible. Our biggest fish was 8 pounds, and then lo and behold,
there comes that one.
Yeah.
Well, it was a beast, and now everybody knows the answer to why that fish didn't weigh 100 pounds.
Yeah, so maybe it did, maybe it didn't.
Yeah, it's just hard to tell. Worth checking out that measurement thing. I think I'll look at that myself.
Yeah, because if you add that 4 inches to it, it goes up closer to 107. The calculation would be.
That makes a lot of difference, yeah. But boys, I look at that fish, I'm telling you, it's just incredible looking fish laying there, and it almost looks like he's starting to slide a little there in that picture. The momentum is down.
I want to say about 4 seconds after I got that photo is when everything kind of
came apart.
Came apart.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being with us today, Ty. And you got anything you want to say to close?
No, not really. I just appreciate all the support from my sponsors throughout these last couple of years, B&M, Team Catfish, and also appreciate the support from you. Thank you for having me on.
My pleasure. So there you go, folks. Now you know why this fish didn't weigh 100 pounds. Thanks for joining us, Ty. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you.